What up? What up?
Live. What's going on, y'all?
Hey.
So Mike T's.
My name is C. Paris, Twig on Apparel.
And
our
I'm
special
Kimberly
guest.
Collins, Educated Natural.
Appreciate you. So I'm gonna just get into it. So one thing I do know about you is your name. Excuse me, the Educated Natural. You had an issue with somebody trying to steal your name. Can we talk about that and what happened and how you resolved that?
Absolutely. But before I answer that, let me just go on and first and foremost say thank you for having me here. I do not take this opportunity lightly. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. To answer your question, how much time do you have?
We're here. Let's live. Let's do it.
Goodness.
No chicken thighs tonight.
Okay. The name The Educated Natural came about back in 2013 before I came live on YouTube. My daughter and I were sitting at my kitchen table, and I had been asked to participate in my then business coach's 60-day video challenge. And she was the one that really pulled me out of my comfort zone because I was not thinking about, I would watch YouTube all day, but never wanted to be a YouTuber. So agreeing to be a part of her 60-day challenge, I said, man, it's so many people with the name Kimberly Collins. I got to come up with something that's, differentiates me from every other Kimberly Collins that's out there. And so we were sitting at the table one night and her and I was just listening to music, just let the radio play. And a song came on by The Dream, Shorty is a 10, right? Yeah. That song was really hot then. And it came on the radio when I was like just listening to it. And I made a joke to my daughter. And I said, I'm a 10. And we both bust out laughing, right? So the next day, I couldn't get 10 out of my head. So I kept writing it down. I kept thinking of words. I'm always messing with words. So I kept, writing 10, trying to think of individual words for each letter. So that's when God just laid it upon my heart to say The Educated Natural, because at the same time, I had just completed my master's degree. And then I have natural hair. So I was like, it's fitting. And so I started just telling my husband about it, telling my daughter about it. And they were like, oh, we like it. So when I first came live on camera, I said, hey, I'm Kimberly Collins, The Educated Natural. And I've been rocking that ever since. And everybody loved it, especially my coach, because even now, even though she's not my coach anymore, she's just a real close friend of mine. Even now she says, what's up, KC10? It's like her thing for me, KC10. So it just stuck. So as I grew and I got into radio, I left YouTube. But the name was, of course, still mine, because even on air, I would say, Kimberly Collins, aka The Educated Natural. So imagine my surprise when I did return to YouTube to realize there were other individuals, 2 African-American females to be exact, one on YouTube and one on Facebook. The one on Facebook decided to inbox me. No, not inbox me. She went to my social media page on Facebook. And she said, oh my God, I like your name. So I said, thank you. The same day, she goes and changes her name to Educated Natural on Facebook.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, but dropping the doesn't change. It's my name.
Yeah.
So I reached immediately back out to her. She broke bad. She went straight project on me, right? So I said, you know what? I'm too grown for this. I'm not going to go back and forth with you over something that clearly belongs to me.
Right.
So I contacted the powers that be, Facebook, and I told them the situation, and they shut her down. They made her change her name.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm thinking, okay, whatever, that's cool. So when I go to YouTube, because I always tell people, Google yourself. Google your product name, Google anything you've come up with, because then it'll let you know if someone else is using it.
Right.
And if you really want to be good about it, go to do a Google alert. And anytime somebody uses it, Google will alert you. So when I got this alert about another Educated Natural on YouTube, I'm like, What? So I, of course, go straight to YouTube, and sure enough, this individual has taken the name, started a channel, products. I'm like, whoa, you're doing the most. So I contacted my lawyer friends that I know. They said, Kim, you played this your fault. And I had to take my own personal responsibility, because when I first came out with the name, I did what a lot of people do. I didn't trademark it.
Right.
I thought, me saying there was common law and stuff like that, that should have been good enough. But after talking with them, they were like, nah, baby, you're going to have to put some paperwork on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally had to file paperwork and trademark my name, which is still waiting for the USPTO.gov to go in and give me that stamp of approval. But it's in there. So I immediately contacted this individual on YouTube and say, hey, you're using my name. Mm-hmm. And of course, they did like the other one. Mm-hmm. Oh, you got to prove to me that it's your name. I never even heard of you. I'm like, you're lying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because if anything I know about business, before you come up with anything, the first thing you do is research what you're trying to use. Even a name, research it. And I did that. There wasn't no one. So I'm like, you're lying. So when she realized that, when she went on the USPTO.gov website and looked up the name, she realized it's pending approval.
Yeah.
And she started to change her name a little bit on YouTube, but she hasn't changed it everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what, Seek, that made me say, you know what, we got to take this business stuff serious.
Yeah.
Because I've worked too hard. I know you guys have worked too hard for what you produce to have somebody come in there and think it's okay to touch it. Oh no.
Definitely.
So that's what happened with that. I was like, I'm not playing. You touch anything that I know I've created, I'll see you in court.
Yeah. And you hear that, people?
Did you hear it? She just dropped one.
My
language. One heck of a gem.
You grow.
Yeah, you did. I'm not gonna say the other word of a gem.
But it's just crazy that people feel like that's okay, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you don't get lack creativity, originality, and they just don't care. Like, I don't know. I've had a few things stolen from me since the beginning of this
More
game.
than a few. More than a few.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Thank you.
It's really crazy. Like, people just, like, back in the day, we used to call them biters, man. This is a world full of biters now,
Oh, yes.
No originality at all.
None.
Period.
I always tell people, if you're going to be anything in this world, be an original. Never be a copy.
Yep.
Right, period.
Why would you want to walk around with the same name as someone else, or the same anything as someone else? Be an original. That's what makes you stand out from the crowd. So I even told her that. Why would you want to take something that doesn't belong to you?
Yeah.
Period.
But she's still playing. She's still playing. And like my lawyer said, we're waiting.
Yeah.
So right now, your name, you can issue it with the R, right?
As soon as because they're backed up at the USPTO.gov. So I tell people, you can put it in now. It backdates. So whenever they approve it, it'll backdate to the time I filed.
Yeah.
So if they don't approve it till next year, worst case scenario, in my opinion, I'll still have rights from the time I filed it.
Right.
So there's nothing that can be done because it's mine. And if she tries, or if anybody tries to push the issue and you end up in some type of litigation, have your stuff in order. I have proof of the first use. I have proof of first use in commerce.
Wow.
Right.
I've screenshotted everything that she has, the dates and everything. It's 3+ years after me.
Yeah.
So it's easier for people. I tell people it's easier and it's cheaper when somebody alerts you, whether it's, especially if I haven't did any kind of cease or desist yet, because I'm just waiting for my official paperwork.
Yeah.
But even if, because a lot of people sit there and receive cease and desist letters from people and they ignore it.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to court. Litigation is expensive.
Yeah.
So as soon as someone tells you your trademark violating my stuff, it's not worth it. Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go.
that he said he'd take somebody to court and just run them out on the money aspect side of it. He won't even show up.
That's it.
It's gonna cost them. Eventually, they realize, like, look, this is too much. I can bid off more than I can do. I gotta leave it alone.
Let it go, man. Be creative. It's so God has made us so creative.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Period.
Be the first in the game, not the second.
Some people just don't know how to do that though. Like,
I know. Like, I was upset when Mike, when you told me about what happened with you, I was ready to fight somebody like it was me.
Man, who wasn't? We went to war for that grizzly bear though.
I don't blame you.
I went on the page. I tagged there, Mike. They stole your bear. They stole your bear.
The sad part about that is he did run off and get it copyrighted after he took the bear, and I didn't have my ducks in a row. So you hear what she just said, y'all, and it's an unfortunate thing. But he broke it down, his reasoning that his bear looked different from my bear. I'm like, this bear is off of my face.
Because the eye is closed.
Yeah, because my eyes is closed.
And he had a crown on his bear.
Yep. That's what
I'm about to say, I'm telling your story. I'm hot about it right now. But his original bear had the eye closed.
Yeah, his did.
See.
Right.
Right.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
That's like dropping the word "the" in my name and just saying you're educated natural. I'm like,
right,
man.
Same thing. Hey, everybody in the squad, y'all doing tonight?
Hey, squad.
Anthony Alexander says, "Congratulations, Queen, on your success with the Masters. That's a great accomplishment.
Thank you.
And thank you for
what's going on.
Thank you. Absolutely. Proud to serve. Proud to serve.
So that leads me to another question. But before I ask that question, I just want to stress the importance of what we just talked about, that trademark stuff. Yes. And like, that's what these designs we do. We look at them now, they ain't worth the money, but to somebody else, they are. It's just, if you might, even if you got to earn that money, keep it documented that when you brought it to the world, just like she did in this situation, and just be covered. Because even if you got to go sell 20 shirts to make that money, it's worth it. And then eventually you will see how the sales go on the investment. You know what I mean? You will be able to see that the investment is worth it. So just a little bit of a gem.
Absolutely.
That's so, USPTO.
USPTO.gov.
.gov.
It's only if you do it yourself. I think the cheapest one is 2 applications. One is I think it's $250, and I think the other one is $300 per class. Mm-hmm. Now those classes are something interesting. Let me tell you that now, because it's like 42, I think, of them. And you would think that, like, let's say T-shirts would be in with the same class as something else. No. Is separated. So you really have to read and research to understand which class, whatever it is you're trying to trademark, falls into. Let me tell you something else I learned when it came to trademarks. That, let's take my name, for example, The Educated Natural. Even though I've trademarked it so far in 2 classes. Somebody else can still come along and take your same name and trademark it in another class.
Wow.
Yes, they can.
Dirty.
Remember, you pay per class. I don't know if anybody wants to take 250 times 42 to cover every single class.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
That's crazy.
Oh. But at least you have it in your main classes. So let's say if I lock it down in T-shirts, nobody can file it in that class. I already have it. So you have to pick your classes wisely. And also with trademarks, you have to renew them every so many years.
Mm-hmm. I heard that.
And you have to make sure when it's filed, if you file it yourself, it's cheaper, obviously. But if you go through lawyers, it can be in the thousands. So be aware of that too, because lawyers don't get their fee.
Yeah.
Because the cheapest I found from a lawyer for me, for one class, I wanted to file 2, but for one class, they wanted the cheapest I found was like $12.75.
Wow.
That was the cheapest. It went up from there.
Wow.
And that was just for one class. I had other friends that filed with their lawyers. Some of them went through LegalZoom. One of them in particular went through LegalZoom to do hers. She paid like $1,200 for 2 classes. But I'm telling you, pay the money now and have your stuff belonging to you. Or don't pay it, don't do anything, and somebody snatch it, and then they go pay it, and you lost your whole business.
Yeah.
And
a lot to think about.
Bad.
Thank you for that, because we definitely didn't know it. That's SP Polk.
She said, for now, I have mine trademarked within my state. That USPTO is extensive but necessary in the long run. Definitely.
But you're only protected in your state. If somebody in your next state, they can still trademark it. Federal trademark is the way you want to go because you're covered in the entire United States, not just your state.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. She said federally.
You got to do it federally.
I want to point out real quick, though, we've been on this thing 16 minutes, and have y'all seen all the jewels she done dropped in 16 minutes?
Really, for real.
Keep open, get your notepads out, keep your ears.
I'm tired of my people losing, man. I want my people to win.
Bro.
Yeah.
It's time for us to win, and nobody's gonna give it to us. We got to go out there and research, do our due diligence, and get it, man.
Yeah.
Period. So I'm gonna go on to a next question. I'm pretty sure we'll end up back on this trademark before it's over. But so you said you were in radio, and you definitely had that voice. You had an energy. Where'd that come from? Or you know what I mean? Just tell us about that a little bit.
My radio journey was interesting, I would say. I started out back in 2013 on YouTube, and I did it a part of a 60-day challenge from my then business coach. After the 60-day was over and everybody was pretty much burnt out doing a video a day for 60 days, I wanted to take a break. So I kind of just did my own thing for a while, but God, as his infinite self, put this idea in my head to do a female mastermind. Now, like I was telling you guys off camera, I'm an introvert. I don't know many people because I spend a lot of time, by myself, doing things alone. But at the same time, my coach was telling me, Kim, you can't be an island. You have to get out there and collaborate. You have to make friends. You have to grow. And you're going to do that, with a community of people. Okay. So listening to her advice, I heard God telling me about this female mastermind. And at the time, I was like, who in the world is going to do a mastermind with me? I don't know that many people, but I trusted God. Mm-hmm. So I went on Facebook, contacted a couple of people. And I'm thinking now at this time, because I don't know if y'all figured this out yet, I didn't want to do it. I did not want to do it. I was telling God no the whole way. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't let me rest. So I'm hoping okay, when I reach out to these particular people, they're going to say no. And it's going to give me my excuse to say, well, I'm not doing it. Mm-hmm. Do you know every lady that I contacted said yes? And I was like, no. So this happened it's happened in November of 2013. Mm-hmm. So after speaking with all the ladies, deciding on who I wanted to do the show with, we went live January 2014, right here. If y'all remember Google Hangouts. Mm-hmm. So we were doing it on Google Hangouts, just a round table. We talked about various topics. We just a mastermind. We just at our computers, just talking like we are right here. So 6 months into doing the show on YouTube, I get a phone call from a childhood friend who was like, hey, I got a radio station. You want to be down? And I was like, are you for real? And he was like, I've been watching you for the last few months. Your show is awesome. Y'all want to be a part of the radio station? Mm-hmm. And we're like all excited, of course, because none of us ever thought radio. We just thought we were just doing something, just talking.
Right.
So when I got this phone call, everybody, we all agreed to do it. Those that were, left a part of the mastermind, because some of them, like anything, started to fall off early on. Mm-hmm. So those of us that were left, it was 4 of us left. We all agreed we was going to do radio. So once we got into radio, I personally took my focus off of YouTube. Mm-hmm. And I went head first into radio. So everything was going great. So that's kind of how the show, YouTube pretty much led us into radio. Somebody just happened to be watching us, like what they heard, and contacted us.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it went. I mean, it was an interesting ride, because like any type of gathering or round table, when you're working with other people, you have your ups and downs.
Yep.
It was a learning experience, and all those ladies are doing, individual things. They're doing great in whatever they're doing now. But it was a growing lesson for me, because at the end, when my last co-host left, I was thinking, well, I'm done. I'm going to go back to familiar territory, which for me was YouTube. And lo and behold, God still would let me rest. So I met somebody else on Facebook. They had their own radio show. And I was like, oh, that's nice. They invited me to listen to their show. And so I support other people. So I'm listening. And that bug hit me again. I was like, man, I miss being in radio. So I contacted her. And she said, absolutely. We're always looking for people to join the station. So there I went again. Still never returned back to YouTube. I went back into radio again. And I was there. I was at the first station for a little over 2 years. The next station, I was over there for like 18 months. Mm-hmm. And then, just like the first station, not to talk about the bad stuff, because both stations went bad, I ended up leaving radio in 2018 because I was like, hearing God say, it's time for you to own it. Mm-hmm. Because at that time, I was depending on everybody else to pick up the slack.
Right.
When I was at the first station, I had I had a round table, a mastermind of ladies. So when I got tired of talking, somebody else would talk. And it was like, I always had that backup. When I went to the second station, it was just me. Mm-hmm. And I was carrying the show. We were doing interviews on both stations. And so, but this time it was all on me. I had to get the guests. I had to meet people. So I had to do all of that stuff myself. But I was still depending on the radio show engineers. When I left, God kept saying, you need to go own it. And I was like, I don't have money to own a radio station. I must have really heard that wrong. Mm-hmm. So I started talking to other people, and somebody was like, why don't you do podcasting? And I was like, podcasting? Okay. Because unlike radio, I had an hour show, and you had to start on time and you had to end on time. Mm-hmm. With podcasting, you have freedom. You can be here all day if you want to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can have a guest, as number of guests I want doing a show. I can do whatever I want. I'm in control. Yeah. Yeah. So I had that freedom, just like you guys have. I feel you have that freedom. But what comes with freedom, other things start to set in. Because I didn't have the structure of the radio station, of that set time and that set crew depending on me to show up. When I'm in podcasting, I got a little lazy. Because I was like, all this freedom and all this control, I could do what I want. But some days I'm like, some weeks I'm like, I don't want to do a show this week, so I'll do it next week. And so you keep pushing stuff off. Right. Until recently, when somebody noticed that I hadn't did a podcast in a while, and they were like, excuse me, where are you? And I was like, oh, I'm just chilling. I'm doing this. They're like, I miss hearing your voice.
Yeah.
So I tell people it's always important to do what you're supposed to be doing. Wow. Because somebody out there is dependent on you to show up. Here I am thinking, nobody's going to miss me. I'm chilling right now. And I started getting inboxes, people saying, where are you? Where is the show? What's going on with you? People were getting worried. And I was like, oh man, I've let people down. Let me get back on my job.
Yeah.
So I want to tell you two, keep pushing, man. Y'all got some great shows. Y'all have some amazing people. And it's like, it's causing my itch to start. I'm like, I got to get back out there, man. It's time for me to go. It's time to go.
Come on,
let's go.
Absolutely.
But appreciate you, like, speaking of that, like, the amazing people, like, you are always, you root us on every podcast, every time we get on here. Yeah. You're always a great supporter, and I just want to thank you for that. And then thank you again for joining us tonight. Like, everything you've said so far is like, I'm back to my student mode right now. So
right, listen, literally learning.
So I
it's
really
have a pen and pencil, y'all. Get your pens and pencils.
Yeah, man. So like, I hear you speak and you always reference back to God and
Yes.
God told you and God pushed you. For a lot of people in this world, that's a hard thing to agree with, or to face.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what is I want to know your motivation to walk by faith.
Wow, that's a good question. It's not always easy because mainly of my background. I'm a little girl from the projects in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised for a lot of years by a single mom until my mom remarried. And growing up in that type of environment, you can go several ways. But when you're surrounded by a lot of negativity, it's easy to lean into the wrong things. But luckily for me, being my mother's youngest and only daughter, I had a lot of eyes on me. I like to call them wisdom keepers. Mm-hmm. So my mother made sure no matter what she was doing in her life and the decisions she was making, she made sure that I stayed under my grandmother and my grandparents who were in church all the time. Mm-hmm. So every Sunday, my grandmother would come pick me up and like, we're going to church. Your mama can do whatever she wants. We're going to church. Yeah. So my grandmother made sure I stayed rooted in the church because she wanted to show me that no matter what was happening in the projects in my environment, I had an out.
Period.
There was another way. So when I became 12 years old, my grandfather passed away, which was my heart. And when he passed away, my mother immediately put me in the house with my grandmother. Because, my uncle and my mom were her only two children, and they didn't want their mom living by herself. And me being the only girl and the youngest, obvious choice.
Yeah.
So that means when I got in that household, that was a very strict household. My grandmother made sure that every negative thing that could have swayed me into any other type of negative situation, she pushed it at bay. She kept me in church. Mm-hmm. Like literally, I did everything in the church but preach. Like, no kidding.
Yeah.
So she kept me rooted and grounded in the church. So that's why my faith is so strong, because I see a lot of people making various decisions that are detrimental to their living, including, I have two older brothers. They strayed away from the church. They're doing various things now, but we all have that foundation. And even though I'm the youngest, both of them always call me for either some kind of advice, some kind of guidance, something they need. They say, I got to call. They always call me their little big sister.
Yeah.
Because it's in me. And yeah, my mother and my grandparents are my angels. They're all gone now, but they have been my foundation, because it allows me to talk to people. Like I always tell people, I can talk to the people on the streets because I've been there. I can talk to the people in the penthouse. That's where I'm going. I can talk to the people in the boardroom. That's why I got the degree. And I'm constantly a student. I'm always reading something, learning something to better myself so I can help somebody else. Mm-hmm. Because that's part of my legacy. I want to help somebody else. That's why I push y'all so hard. That's why I'm always supporting other people. Because if I don't make it, at least something I say to you will help you keep going and make it. But at least I did my part. I didn't just keep all the information to myself. Mm-hmm. I believe that if God is leading me and I'm following him, I have to turn around and help somebody else. That's just how it goes for me.
Definitely. That's
and a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people want to just keep it to themselves. And I'm like, that's not what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's what the squad is based off. And
yes.
I've said this in another live, but I've always had this belief that us as creators, we're given this gift to share. Right. We created, we're inspired, we created. And once we create it inside of our minds or in our minds, it's not ours no more. It belongs to the world. You know what I mean? And I think that that's crucial to us, to human being, to humankind. You know what I mean? To share. And that's what we built the squad off of, as being motivators and inspire and to give people a voice that was the idea behind these podcasts, and like it's listening. I'm sorry I didn't stole the show, but listening to you talk, you're like, I ask these questions and I'm asking for the people, but I need the answers. You know what I mean? So
I got you.
You got my head spinning right now. Just listening to you, I got some new ideas I want to try out. Appreciate you again, and just the whole to really walk off faith, to walk off of is to live off of something you don't see but you know to be true.
That's it.
You know, so and it's really an amazing thing. Like you got that energy that some people come with it and their energy don't match their word, but you got the whole package. Your words and your energy line up.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
I have to, it's my roots. If I wasn't pushed the way I was pushed, I had a lot of, like I said, I had a lot of eyes on me. I had a lot of people depending on me to be the one. And I'm not only my mom's only girl and the youngest child, but I'm the only one that graduated high school. I'm the only one with a college degree. I'm the only one with their own business. I'm the only one. So that was because of my roots. I couldn't let, people always say you can't let the hood down. I couldn't let my mother down. I couldn't let my grandparents down because I watched how much they sacrificed for me to be able to do. So if I didn't get up off my behind and do something, it's like their legacy died when they died. And I couldn't let that happen. I was just having a conversation with my oldest daughter not too long ago. I told her, I said, I initially didn't care too much about a college degree, but my husband pushed me because he knows my buttons. So he went and got his undergraduate degree. And I was like, yeah, congratulations to you. He was like, oh, no, ma'am, you're next. And so he would start to take his degree and start shining it up to me. You see this? You see this? Yeah, you see this? And he knows that would irritate me. And so I said, okay, I'm going to go get my undergraduate. So I'm thinking, cool, I got my undergraduate degree. I'm good. So then he umps the ante and decides while I'm wrapping up my undergraduate, he wants to go get his master's. So I'm like, this joker here.
Yeah.
Because I cried through my undergraduate.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, whatever, I'm not going to do it. I have my 4-year, that's enough. So he went and goes and get his double degree because now he has an undergraduate and a graduate. So he has his big frame on the wall, and every time you walk by it, he say salute it, and I'm like, you tripping. So he just kept gloating and challenging me, and I'm like, do you really want to do this? And he was like, yep. But then he said something that really got me moving. He said, you see that? Because at the time we had our oldest daughter, and then I had just given birth to our second. And he said, you see those 2 little girls right there? I said, yeah. He said, it's our job to set the bar for them. Period. And when he said that, I went on and started signing up for graduate school. I said, hey, for my babies, I'll do it.
Wow.
And I did it during a time when my husband deployed for a year.
Wow.
So I have 2 children and a deployed husband and a job. And I'm in school. So I had all these things going on at the same time. So I said, there are no excuses. Take them off the table. And when I walked across that stage, and before I even walked across the stage and we were lining up, I turned around and I started crying. And it was so funny that when the students were standing behind me, he said, what's wrong? I said, no, I'm okay. I said, I just realized what this means.
Excuse me. Yeah,
I was the only African-American female out of all of these undergraduate and graduate students graduating with an MBA on that day.
Wow.
And I cried like a baby when I realized that. Then I really cried when I realized I was the only one in my family with one.
Wow.
And I realized that moment, how high the bar I had set. So now this fall, my oldest daughter will graduate with an engineering degree, her 4-year degree. She will be an engineer this fall.
Okay, God.
Wow.
And I'm like, if my husband wouldn't have set the bar, I would have still just had a 4-year degree.
Yeah, man.
So now I look at my daughter, I said, look, when you get your undergraduate, I'm not going to tell you to shoot for your master's, but I'm going to tell you to shoot. If we shot this high, do better than me. So she's challenged right now.
Period.
But you have to. But I'm saying you have no excuses not to.
Wow.
Period. It's like
Absolutely. Thank you to my hubby.
yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Hey, you motivation. You are the true definition of motivation and inspiration. I just want to tell you.
Thank
I'm gonna drop this disclaimer over here though. If y'all see a tear fall, don't even trip.
Yeah,
like,
you know what I'm saying?
it's cold right now, you know. Got me feel, you know, I'm down with myself at the moment, you know. But nah, it's just it's a lot of reassurance for just my wife tells me stuff, and like you said, God tells me stuff, I don't listen, and then like you're definitely got me thinking about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you can do it, man. You can do anything you set your mind to. I'm just saying that because that's a cliche statement. I'm a living witness. Nobody would ever think a little girl running around the project, born of a single mother who had an alcohol addiction, would ever be where God has allowed me to be today. I take no credit in that. That was all God, because I wanted to give up a lot of times. But he kept giving me reasons to keep going. And every time I want to quit, out of nowhere, one of my daughters appear. And I'm like, goodness, all right, I'm good. Let me throw some cold water on my face. Let's go. It's time to grind. Or like Mike says, it's time to grit. It's time to get in there. It's time to get it.
We got to. Ain't that how that works though? You know, I got 10 children. So you say every time when your daughters come around, it's just like that. That's not. Yeah. See, most of my children are still at home with me. I got some that's out of the house, but most of them still with me. So, you know, when they get up that next day or that next morning, and I get up and I'm looking at them, I'm like, man, there's no way I can just, you know, fall astray or not actually go do what I set out to do, because I got all these kids looking at me.
Right. And plus, I always say, you know,
you hit the heart.
I always say, I'm sorry. I always say, you know, if my daughters ever get to an age and they want to quit, if I quit, I can't look at them and tell them to keep going if I quit.
Right. Right.
But now that I'm doing what I'm doing it right in their faces. They see how hard I work. They see the sacrifices I made throughout their lives. They can't say I quit now that my mama didn't quit. I know I can't go to mama saying I quit because she's not trying to hear any of that. I tell people I took the word can't out of my dictionary a long time ago. Because that was my word. Oh, I can't do it, or I'm too old, or I'm this, or I'm that. I had every excuse in the book for why I couldn't do what I knew I could do. And when I took can't out of the book, I'm like, I just keep quoting the Bible. You know, I just keep saying I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I just keep saying it. I just keep pushing. Even when I get a no from people, I say, okay, cool. That just means next opportunity. That means I just can't do it with you. It doesn't mean I'm not going to do it.
Y'all see how she flipped that no? Next opportunity.
That's it. Next opportunity. That means I just can't do it with you, but I'm going to do it. Even when I told people I was going for my MBA, they was like, man, you can't do that. You got this going on and you got that going on. When I walked across that stage and I took that first picture like this, I can do it.
That's dope. It's a nice, great, amazing testimony.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. You over here moving me in this chair now. I'm trying to stay straight.
I'm telling you.
I'm a whole man. You're about to be cracking out, tears coming out my eyes from the water.
Right.
What's going on with Mike?
I definitely have to say, this is the deepest squad talks we've had right here.
Literally.
And we ain't even got to T-shirts.
To the question.
You know what I mean? Like, we ain't even got to the reason why we came in here today, you know? Man, so saying that, how did you get from YouTube to radio to school to mother to Christ to T-shirts?
Another interesting journey. You know, I would have to give T-shirts to credit to a lady at my church. It was about a couple of years ago. We were having service and she walks up to me. She says, do you do T-shirts? And I was like, no, ma'am, I don't do t-shirts. And she says, I can see you doing t-shirts. And I'm like, you may want to look again. Because at the time I'm thinking, I want to go do something else. I want to go back to radio. Like, I want to go do this. I want to go do this. And she was like, I really see you doing t-shirts. And she said, well, let me tell you the truth while I'm asking you. And I said, okay. She says, because she works for a law firm, and her law firm probably later on that year will want new t-shirts. And she want to give that business to me. And I'm like, but I don't do t-shirts. And she says, okay, I know what I saw. So I'm thinking, okay.
Wow.
So do you know about almost 2 years ago, doing like November, December time frame, she texts me and she says, what's your Cash App? And I'm thinking, okay, it's the holiday season. She wants to just send me, a little Cash App gift for Christmas. I'm like, I'm not good at receiving. I'm good at giving. I'm just not good at receiving. So I'm like, I don't think I want to give that to you. And she's like, girl, if you don't give me that Cash App. So being obedient, I give her my Cash App. She sent me, I'm not going to tell you the amount, but let's say it was enough to cover a Craft Pro heat press from Heat Press Nation.
Wow.
Then she calls me and says, did you get it? I said, yes, but you got to take this back. You have to take this back. And she says, I will not. God told me to give it to you, to gift it to you. Now get started on my shirts.
Wow.
So that's how it started. That's how it started.
You ain't did no shirts prior to. You did no shirts prior to that moment.
None.
Wow.
None.
Wow.
Divine intervention.
But she gave me no excuse. It was all God. No excuse as to the direction obviously God wanted me to go. And I was like, because I'm not a designer. I heard you talk about that. I'm like, I've never taken any type of design course or nothing. I'm like, t-shirts.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was her.
These lessons we give, man, and we realize ourselves, man, never know what form is going to come in.
Never.
That part.
Like, yeah, I'm speechless off of that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I tried to give it back. She wouldn't take it.
Yeah. She saw it somehow.
She saw it. Because I had no clue about t-shirts at all. So that's why I'm thankful for the squad, because you guys, like I always tell people, I'm always a student. I'm always looking to learn something new. And the squad is amazing.
Thank you.
The talent level in there, I've never seen it.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody's YouTube channels. I'm looking, taking notes. I'm like, okay, how you do that again? Mike, what kind of vinyl is that? That's like the 50th vinyl you done showed this week. What vinyl is that? Mike gonna have me broke. Mike is gonna have me broke, y'all. All this vinyl, everything looks good to me. I'm like,
if y'all missed that live we did at like 3, 4 o'clock this morning, y'all gotta watch it. That was another one of the topics that we talked about, Mike and his vinyl. Y'all gotta watch that. It was fun. We had fun last night.
Oh, that is funny.
I love the vinyl. What's wrong with the vinyl, y'all?
Mike,
I can imagine what it looked like.
Hey, this is about the educated natural. I'm not even gonna get into that. But watch the live we did this morning, like 3, 4 this morning. Y'all watch that one. Y'all will see the chicken thighs video. Watch that interview.
Don't let it go. You ain't never gonna let it go.
That was just that. The chicken thighs was the end. Y'all gotta watch that whole video. It was comedy. We had fun last night.
I'm still laughing and crying at that. I think I done watched that about 10 times today. I keep rewinding it and watching it and just laughing.
Yeah, me too. Everybody I come across new to them, like, watch this right quick. Listen to this. That was so funny.
So what's all the things that you have customized, since being in the shirt industry?
Well, of course, t-shirts. I've done coasters. My number one seller has been those aluminum panels. My church and different churches have, when they lose members of their church or family members, that has been my number one seller. I thought t-shirts would be it. No, it's those sublimating those panels.
Yep.
To memorialize, deceased family members or friends. And I've done those. I've done what's those things called? I've done, of course, apparel, hoodies, socks, t-shirts, coasters, those panels. And I have a couple of more other things that I want to get into as well. I've had a little interest in them, bringing ideas to my inner circle and say, hey, you think this will sell? What do you think about this? And so I really want to try those out and see how they work. Mainly tailored towards the ladies, a couple of ladies things. But my daughter has my sock game on lock right now. Every game character she could think of. Mom, make me a pair of socks. Make me a pair of socks.
Yeah.
And so I'm so glad you had silky socks on the other week, because I'm like, I need to place an order. I need some more socks.
Yeah, I saw you had it's a sale going on right now too.
Yeah, it is. Nice sale going on
this weekend. I mean, I'm just passing. Don't shoot the messenger.
Why you gotta confirm it? That's 48 years old, man. Wow.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Wow. Really? Okay. Squad Talk t-shirt with chicken thigh on, all right?
Hey, what's funny is that's my guy, man. Shout out 40 Acres, man. That's Keith Bird squad, man.
Oh, that's
he
funny.
really 55 though. Remember I said no, nobody under 55. He's
wrong.
Keith is really 55.
Hey, see, that's horrible, man.
Oh, that's wrong. That is so wrong. Oh, I'm crying. Oh man, that's silly.
I'm drinking out tonight.
That's so wrong.
Uh-huh.
I got a comment trying to get it out, because y'all keep roasting me on my little chicken thigh. That's okay. That is awesome.
Y'all know Mike gonna release a shirt right with a chicken thigh.
It's gonna be layered too. And I got a special sauce for you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I gave him an idea.
That red hot and 2 pieces of white bread.
Look, while y'all laughing, about an hour ago, I had a chicken thigh with 2 pieces of light bread. So
motivation, huh?
Yeah.
Motivation.
Mine's waiting after this live.
Hey man, I actually got chicken thighs in my freezer, but I ain't about to go frying with no white bread.
Man, that's because you don't know about it. That's okay.
I don't eat white bread either, so
leave the bread alone. You just need the thigh with itself, and then you gotta have it red.
I eat wheat bread. To be honest, I've eaten wheat bread forever, but on white bread, one thing I do know, only thing that's good to me with white bread is barbecue. Barbecue and white bread matches.
I can see that.
Y'all making me hungry now.
Oh,
all the food talk. I'm gonna go on and leave and go get my chicken thigh. Adriana Hollis says that is awesome. You never know who you are. Blessings, and who is looking up to you, pretty much.
You're right.
You never know.
Absolutely. Period. When I was a teenager, I used to help the youth in my community. And back in 2015, I did a conference in my hometown, and this young lady walks up to me. She says, "Do you remember me?" And I remembered her face, but I hadn't been home in so long. And so she says, "I was in your youth group that you used to tutor." And I was like, "Oh my goodness." She said, "I just want to thank you." And she hugged me, and I'm sitting there with tears in my eyes. Like you said, you just never know.
Right.
That, I was a mentor, a youth mentor, during the summer every year in my community. And the last thing I did before I left, I formed a step show with the youth in my community. So we were like doing steppers, like colleges do, like fraternities and sororities. We were doing stepping. And she remembered that. And I was like, wow, the impact that you can make on anyone's life, especially a young person's life, that's monumental to me. I take things like that seriously.
Period.
That's why I tell you two, y'all have something. I don't even think you understand the potential of this show and the group. This is unheard of. And I've been a part of a lot of groups. And when I came into the squad, I was like, man, this about to be some craziness. Watch. No. The only group I really even pay attention to now is the squad.
Wow.
That's how much of an impact everyone in there that has posted anything has had on me. Like y'all have woken up this level of creativity in me that I didn't even know was there. So I thank each and every one of you all in the squad, because that's awesome. It's unheard of.
Thank you. One thing I like with the squad, one thing that I'm gonna say this before. I'm gonna say that Peaches High, I love chicken backs too. But
oh, see, look at y'all.
But no, really, like with the people in the squad, man, like I feel like like you talk about the level of creativity and talent that's in that group. Sometimes I feel like, what the hell am I doing? You know what I mean? Because it's damn near, I'm gonna say 90% of the group is better than me. You know, and then I'm just up here. You know, I'm just the loyal constituent, and you know, being the one to make the platform. But how do you? I guess they say though, you should employ people that are better than you, so you can learn from them as well.
Right.
Not now. I ain't hired nobody, but you know, just that term. But again, man, that squad, like the talent you do see is amazing.
It is.
Appreciate all y'all. Appreciate everybody's contribution. And then we're like helping people with first. A lot of people have started groups. A lot of people have got out of their box and started their YouTubes and different stuff, and just a new journey. And I'm glad, like the vision I had, that we had for the squad, it's far outlived our expectations. You know?
Yes, it did.
That's good. I'm so happy for you two, because just you two alone is something that you hardly see two African American males that truly you can tell the genuine love and respect that you guys have for each other. It's not fake. It's not, you know, just for screen time or likes, clicks, and views. I literally see the respect and love you two have. And that's commendable right there in itself, especially what, you know, you're hearing and seeing about what's happening with the African American males. So, you know, I lift my glass to you two, because this is something that I personally, being the sister of two older brothers, I love to see.
Thank you.
So just keep that up. Keep that bond, man. Don't let some crazy people out there try to split y'all up, that people will try to do it or whatever, cause any kind of turmoil. Y'all keep that brotherhood. I enjoy seeing it.
I think that like what our relationship is very seldom. I think me and Mike really got connected probably last September, I want to say, maybe a little before. But like since September, there's probably only time, or since September, outside of me getting threatened not to call when he's on vacation. You know, that gun pointed at my head by his wife. I know you watch it too. But outside of that gun being pointed at my head, it's probably 3 days that we haven't talked. Wow. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like it was one of them meant to be things. It was like you and your heat press in a way, you know?
Yeah.
Because it really started. He did YouTube, I did YouTube. We found each other's channel, and one day I was like, I messaged him, or I think he messaged me, said something to me, and I was like, no, I think I was the first one. I was like, bro, if you do this, you know, it'll, you know, he gave him a little tip that I had learned along the way, and it's been history. Now we're making history, you know?
Absolutely.
Brother from another mother. Always telling me. Yeah, the squad is definitely
is a blessing. Yes.
That's
so. Once that heat press story is crazy, but once you got that heat press, what was the first thing you did with that heat press?
I did a shirt.
I
went straight to Michael's, paid an expensive price for that vinyl.
Yeah, you and everybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Siser was the thing at the time. And I bought all the Siser back, different colors, and came home and I made a shirt because I knew I had to do something because the lady that, sent me the gift, I knew she was waiting for me to do something. I couldn't just sit on it. Mm-hmm. I had to let her know, your money didn't go to waste. Right. So I went and I made the shirt that I still wear to this day. And it was so me because at my church, everybody always joke how hood I can be. They were like, we could tell there's some hood in you. Mm-hmm. And they was like, because if Kim is the type of person that if you around her, she doesn't like slackers around her. Mm-hmm. If she's trying to come up, you got to come up too. If not, she's going to yank you up. So they're always making a joke with that. So my very first shirt said, hood enough to, what did I say? Oh goodness. What did I say? Holy enough to lift you, hood enough to knock you out. So it was like hood enough to lift you up, holy enough to lift you up, hood enough to knock you out. So I had that on the front, and I had my logo on my arm. It was a short sleeve shirt, so I had my logo on this side. So I went to church. We had Bible study that night. And even though it was cold and the shirt I made was a short sleeve shirt, I had my coat on. So when service was over, I took my coat off and I stood up like this, and everybody bust out laughing when they read it. And I told her, I said, I guess I'm making shirts now. So that was it. That's what started it right there. That was my very first shirt.
So how did that design do?
It's still holding up. It's over a year old and it's still holding up.
I bet.
It's still holding up. The only thing that's starting to lift a little bit in one of the letters is the white. That's why me and Siser White. I just sent a bunch of it to one of my sisters in Christ because she just started her business and t-shirt business. Mm-hmm. And I said, here's my gift to you. I just sent her a bunch of vinyl. And she was thanking me because she was, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's what we're supposed to do. If I have something that I'm no longer using, I'm transitioning out of, and if I think you can use it, it may work for you. Here, take it. I'm not gonna throw it away. I paid money for that. Take it and use it.
Yeah.
And so that's what I do. If I have anything and I think I'm no longer using it, somebody else may benefit. Even if I am using it, if I think it'll benefit someone else, I'll pack it up and just send it to them.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's just something that, like I said, I'm a giver. And that's just one of the things that I just love to do. I love to see other people succeed. I'm not into this whole, that's your competition. She's entering into the same industry that you're in. Why would you do that? I'm like, why would I not? Because in my mind, the only competition I have is me.
Right. That's funny. That's funny you said it. I had on another shirt. Like one of the first shirts, I didn't even print it. I had it printed when I first got into shirts, and that's what it says. The only competition is me. I had it on, and I was like, the t-shirt maker in me, it was the design wasn't right. I was like, I'm not wearing this. I'm gonna get judged. But that was what it said. The only competition is me.
That's it. Every day I'm trying to get better. Kim, you missed something yesterday. Kim, you didn't do as good as you could have. Today is a new day. God gave you another day. Get it better. Better. Do better. And that's what I do. I can look at somebody's design and be like, oh, man, that's awesome. And I'll comment, hey, man, you rock that design. I have no problem. And still do what I do. Still be confident enough in myself to say, you know what? They did it. They set the example. Let's see what you can do.
Right.
And I just try to build. That's what everybody, I love the group, like I said before, because it allows me, it wakes up my creativity to say, oh man, I never thought about doing that. Like the best uni, I watch her channel for about a year in secret. Just to laugh mainly. Just to laugh and see what she was going to say. But I watched her for like over a year before I subscribed. It was crazy. I know. I'm sorry, Uni. I'm sorry. But at one point I did subscribe and realized, oh no, Kim, you never hit the subscribe button. Sorry, but I'm subscribed now.
Yeah.
But I've watched her for the longest.
But she is like, Mike Tees is the one that hit me to her. She's a whole nother breed.
Idea
she's
for
a
you.
whole nother breed. This crap.
Yeah. She is. She owes me half of a soda because I was watching her. The first video I watched her for, I was watching it and I was drinking a soda, and she messed up something. She said, "Oh, SHIT," and I spit soda everywhere because I just think it was just hilarious the way she said it. What do you see everybody else do? They usually edit that stuff out their video. She had me hooked. I was laughing because I was like, "Who is this?"
You with her, you get what you see. She ain't sugarcoat nothing for nobody.
Right.
I remember the first video I seen was similar. I never
I gotta give it up to my ladies because Marcella. The first video I think I saw Marcella, I think she was on a live. No, that was the second video. And she was messing with that cube steak vinyl that we call it now. And I was like, what in the world is she pulling on like that? And I just fell in love with her and her genuine, just somebody you like. I can just hang out with you. Like, I'm gonna come to Virginia and just hang out. Because she's just that down to earth type person. And I'm like, I just love genuine people because I've met some crooks out there. Definitely. And to be around people that you can tell really love what they do, educate themselves, and don't mind failing. That's what I love about Uni. No matter what she does, if it goes right, she shows it. If it goes bad, she shows it. I respect that. I respect that because I can't tell y'all how much vinyl and how many shirts I have messed up and how many mugs I've messed up. And to see somebody like her say, look, y'all gonna see it whether it's right or wrong. Lets me know, you know what, Kim? And that's my hiccup. And that's why y'all don't see a lot of videos of me doing crafts because I'm so used to sitting like this and talking and things like that, whether I'm in radio or live streaming. I never think to turn on the camera when I'm creating because when I'm in creative mode, I'm moving. I've got the heat press going. I got stuff. I'm all over the place. I'm thinking, I should have really recorded this. And so that's what I'm working on now, saying, Kim, grab the camera, turn it on, just work. And so that's something I'm learning to do. So I think, like I said, I thank the squad because you guys be in there, Mike be in there, Usyk be in there, Uni be in, everybody's doing their thing. And I'm like, man, I gotta change my setup so I can do it too.
Come on, well, you welcome.
Yeah. 40 Acres and a Mule says, I watch the ladies on YouTube channels and don't say nothing. I ain't stalking. I interested in what y'all doing, but I ain't going shopping with y'all. Okay.
I had to post that up, man. That's my guy, man.
Look, I say we all meet up at Mike's and just raid his vinyl because I know it's probably a whole store there.
See, you trying to get me started.
I do. I'm a different type of beast, I guess. Well, what you even saying that though? What's the best process that you like to use? I mean, have you tried to DTF the sublimation? You
man, y'all are not pulling me into that DTF. Oh man, I gotta pump the brakes. I was thinking I was gonna do vinyl. I was gonna be vinyl only. I'm just doing vinyl. Next thing I know, sublimation.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm just getting started really good in the sublimation over these last, probably year or so. And now DTF, I'm like, I don't have any more space. And my husband keeps saying, who's my accountant, keeps saying, no, you don't have any money. He's like, you're not buying nothing else. He has put me on a strict budget. And I was like, when I saw that vinyl with Mike, I was like, how much money I got? Can I? Because there's something else I'm supposed to be saving my money for.
Yeah.
And I'm like, baby, please. And he's like, no. Because I gave him my goal sheet, and I'm like, okay, I want to have this by this day. I want to have this by that. He's like, all right, I'm going to hold you to it. And he is not playing. So I'm like, okay. My accountant is like, you're going to stay in your budget. So I'm going to stay in my budget. But that looks nice.
Budget
that DTF look nice.
It does.
It does. It really does.
How's the washing on it?
So I haven't had any issue, and I only washed it one time. Now I'm waiting to do 5 washes or more because I'm trying to. So y'all, any of my DTF gurus on here, y'all, I need DTF prints.
Coffee Powered Home said, ha ha. I joined some DTG, DTF groups and they all be complaining. I haven't heard no complaints about the DTF myself so far. It's just about dialing in that RIP software. Like, if y'all don't know, Veronica Hernandez, Iron Designs 813, she's dope with the DTF. Y'all look for her on YouTube if you want to learn more about it. Iron Designs 813. Anthony Alexander, that man, he's supposed to start a YouTube channel back in 1967. We still waiting on that, brother. I'm trying to think.
I don't think he sleeps. I don't think any of y'all sleep. Like, seriously.
Jason Maycock,
he in the group, dope with the DTF.
Okay.
Got a lot of knowledge in the DTF, and it's very, very helpful. Him and Veronica both are very helpful, so I'm pretty sure if y'all have any questions, you can reach out to her. Coffee Powered Home. I don't know who you are. I'm sorry, but I saw that James said you have a great channel, so I just went and subscribed. You should have got the notification from 12 Gone Apparel.
Thank you.
Yeah, we sleep. It's just cat naps. To answer your question.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, how do y'all do it?
Yeah.
Because even this morning when I got up, I had a notification that y'all work on the squad talk. I'm like, huh? And I was like, what time was it? And I'm counting the hours back. I'm like, these mugs don't sleep. They must live off of coffee and Jesus. I don't understand because
rock stars and Jesus.
She said, I'm gonna have to take the shirt idea right there, y'all.
My goodness.
Sleep don't make money. That's right, Coffee Powered Home.
You're right. So, I had an old business not partner, but somebody I used to be in a group with. They used to sit there and say sleep is for suckers. And I was like, well, call me a sucker. I got to get some sleep, man.
Right.
Yeah, I don't sleep. I'm evil. I'm an evil soul. I'm evil. Oh, man, I'm short-tempered. I'm like, I need to go to bed.
So I used to be a sleeper until my wife started working graveyard. And then once she worked graveyard, I would just drink energy drinks and coffee to stay up so then I could sleep with her in the daytime.
Gotcha.
And now it just became I'm accustomed to it. And this is how I feel like Coffee Powered Home says 2 to 3 hours is good enough.
That's what seems like I live off of. Because sometimes I'm up 3 o'clock in the morning, like for the weeks. I'm like, please, come on. I just went to bed at like 11. Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, especially for me, I can't speak for everybody else, is I have work that I'm doing. And sometimes, like, if I want to do, y'all know I love vinyl. It's out there. Everybody know this. But I have to, like, actually read.
Y'all trying to get me started. I'm going to be quiet.
So many shirts. So I'll bring it home. And you ain't supposed to take your work home. But I figure if I'm in front of my computer, I got to be, I got to be doing something. That's just how I'm wired, So a lot of folks, that's work on top of work on top of work. My wife yell at me all the time, like, she just give me this look, this death stare, like, you already know what time it is. Why you?
She give it to me too, and I didn't even do nothing. I was just there.
Real talk. Like, I know you in on this. I know you in.
Listen, she did. See, I just hear him as soon as the phone ring. He be like, "Hell, I be Seek." I know it's Seek. Look, we be on the camera. I be like this down in the camera, like she can't know the phone is on.
Hey, what she tell you yesterday though? See, you don't sound like yourself. You said you sound weak or something.
Yes, I sound weak. I've been working. Like I've been working. Like I've been doing like real work though, like in the yard landscaping.
Oh wow.
Oh, I'm tired.
He's talking about I'm old.
Yeah, I'm not that spring chicken no more.
No,
You
you
be like 40, 44.
45.
Oh, you same age as I am.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I'll be
it.
46
and she
January.
eat chicken thighs. You see that?
See, listen.
You see it.
See, listen. I think she was just being nice, Mike.
I'm serious.
You know, I think she was just being nice. We don't need a picture of this chicken thigh, a video or something. See, because my brother 40 acres and a mule, he said I eat chicken thighs and I'm old. I don't think he's old. He always say that old stuff, but 40 acres is really 55. That's how old that man is. And when I said that last night, I was like, nobody under 55, and then to have him confirm that for me, I think he was just being nice, Mike.
No, your palates ain't right yet.
Right.
That's all.
She like legs and breasts, bro.
See, my next video, I'm gonna be like, this video is sponsored by Chicken Thighs.
Chicken thighs,
Oh, that's funny.
Red Hot better come after.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry if I see that. That man. But y'all know, really, have you seen the whole video to that?
Yes.
That lie was so fun. We had fun last night.
The way James was laughing, that really took me in. He was just cracking up.
They couldn't talk or nothing.
No.
And then Rolando was like, it's the old school chicken sandwich.
Oh God.
I was like, oh man, Seek is in rare form this morning. I guess I should say he is in rare form. That was funny.
Yeah, it was fun. See, the thing that we're using this new service, StreamYard. Right. So we were just going on for a test just to see if it was gonna work, and it turned into a really, really fun session. Y'all gotta go watch that.
That was funny.
Coffee Power Home. You will be all that. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay
Absolutely.
Period. And if you haven't, come join the squad. Come hang out with us.
That part.
You're right. You're not all that. You're all that and a bag of chips.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
You're even more than all. You even more. You haven't even. I always tell people, none of us have even scratched the surface of our greatness.
Period.
You could be 80 years old and you still breathing. You still able to move. You haven't even scratched the surface.
Message. I'm sorry, I gotta yell that out. Y'all see that movie?
Period. Like, I mean, if you think of just the small percentage of the brain that we use, that tells you how much we don't scratch potential.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so what's next for you? You've worn and wear a lot of hats. What's the next goal line you gonna cross?
You know, I'm open right now. I'm just following God wherever he leads me. You know, every time I've tried to set the course, I end up bopping my head. So every time I tried to put a limit on something, I end up bopping my head. And it got to a point where I said, okay, God, wherever you say, whatever you do, that's where we'll go. You know, my goal, and it has always been, and it will always be until it happened, is to one day own my own radio station. And the key point of that is so that I can help people that look like me, people who don't look like me, get to that other level. Mm-hmm. You know, my goal is for our people to get to those other levels that have been ruled by other people that don't look like us. Mm-hmm. And I believe that in order for us to get there, we have to do our due diligence. We got to educate ourselves. We have to study and learn the craft. You know, I always tell people, you don't want to be, you know, the person that knows how to do a lot of things, but you have never mastered one thing. Period. My goal is always master that one thing that you know you were sent to this earth to do. After that, you master that one thing, it'll open up a whole lot of doors. But, you know, don't be out here chasing money. Don't be out here chasing rabbits, because you'll always be chasing it. Because I always say money is fluid. It'll run through your fingers.
Definitely.
So once you master your one thing, my mom always told me, nobody can ever take away from you what you know. Period. I've been to school. I have the college degrees, but the best education Kim ever received was when I opened up a book on my own and started to research. whatever craft, whether it was radio, whether it's t-shirts. I'm always learning. I'm always researching it so I can get better, not just for me and my family, but for other people. Because none of us are going to live forever. But what we live on this earth could possibly. I'm sure the owners of the originators of Walmart didn't think Walmart would be the way it is now. But somebody had to lay that foundation.
Right.
Period.
And so I tell people, lay your foundation, master your one thing. And above all else, understand who you are. Understand whose you are. And once you know that, when a hater come in there, you'd be like, save it. It won't even bother you. It'll be like, man, get off me. You know, you can't affect me like that. I know who I am. Oh, there's my husband. I love you too, baby.
How you doing, Mr. Husband?
They said, how you doing, Mr. Husband?
Thank you for your service.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
He says you're welcome. He has to do a night shift, so he's on his way out.
So, let me just say this. When you get that radio station, Squad Talks need a home.
So, absolutely.
Absolutely.
We need a home.
We shopping, so.
Absolutely. I'm like, look, I'm just trying to, because I'm in a place now where I have never seen anything like this before. You know how you get in your car, you turn on the radio, you can always find at least one hip hop station.
Yeah.
You know, one station that plays, you know, music tailored to us. Let me just be real. Don't have that here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, I see us here, but that's an area where I don't see us represented at all.
Right.
There it
and
is.
so I'm like, there is a market here. I just got to get my foot in the door.
Mm-hmm.
That's the challenge, to get my foot in the door. Once I get in the door, oh, it's on and popping.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just learning. I'm studying. I'm trying to make connections, you know, doing what I have to do. Not, like I said, not for me, for us.
I want to point out that your husband came and gave you a kiss goodbye on camera.
I know he's never done that before.
But like, I mean, that's that love. You know, that's
absolutely.
So many people lack that. You know what I mean? That's important.
Absolutely.
You know, that's important. It was great to see you on camera.
Oh, I know. I was shocked. I was like, oh, he never comes on camera ever.
I'm not sure if we to change the subject. I'm sorry, y'all. Did we get the number of years you've been on YouTube? Did you ask that question?
It's since 2013.
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, I think I asked that off camera. I think I asked it off camera. Actually.
Oh yeah, I think you did. But yeah, I've been on YouTube since 2013. And
can I ask you another question? Are you monetized?
Absolutely. Not yet, and that was on me, and that's why I'm telling you, don't do like I did. I left when I should have stayed, and I didn't take it serious.
Y'all go run the numbers up. Y'all subscribe, comment.
I should have taken it serious, and I didn't. So now I'm like, Kim, you got to get on your, like my mom said, your P's and Q's. You got to get out there and do what you know how to do and what you need to do and grow this channel, because it's so many opportunities out there. I'm watching so many other people just blow up and grow, and I'm like, wow. But I also see people out there that's giving out wrong information. And I'm like, it's time for people who know better to get in areas so we can teach people to do better. It's time for people to stop doing business and do business.
Yeah. You dropped a video on the 2720 how to cut I think it was like print a bigger image on the 2720. Right. That was the best uni. She asked that. I remember. Best uni, she got your 2720 video. Go watch it. I forgot about that.
I think she did. I think I told her about it, and I think she subscribed, and I think she watched it.
And then another thing with that, drop your link tonight into the squad and see how many new followers we can get you from that.
Thank y'all so much. Thank you.
Yeah, y'all go follow Educated Natural. She got a whole bunch of videos. Y'all just go on back down to the beginning and press play and help her get them hours up, them subscribers up, and
thank y'all so much.
She got some dope content over there, and like a lot of stuff. I watch YouTube videos. I don't always comment on stuff, but I'm watching you. So
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. But knowing that how the algorithm has changed since I was really, really active on it, now that I'm back, I was like, oh, okay. So it's not just about subscribers, it's about, interaction, it's about the likes, it's about the comments. So now I try to make sure I just make sure I like, and I make sure I go and comment, and make sure I answer everyone that says something on a video, because that's like very important. That back in the day that it really didn't matter. It was all about subscribers, but now it's about the total package. So yes, please, whoever subscribes to me, I'll subscribe to you. Just let me know, and let's build each other up, man. That's a great free opportunity to help somebody grow. It doesn't cost you a penny.
Period.
Y'all hear the gem she's dropping tonight, so it's not going to be empty value. There's substance there.
Not at all. But it's too much talent. Oh my goodness, it's too much talent in that squad. So if you have a channel and I missed you, let me know. I'll go subscribe and say hello to you and watch you. And even So Deep Designs.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, what can I say about her? Amazing.
We got her. She gonna be on here too. Y'all gonna get to meet her soon too.
So this is a part I'm about to bring up. It's called Rapid Fire. I'm pretty sure you've seen it or heard it. 5 questions I'm gonna ask you. You can answer to the best of your capabilities. Hot or cold?
Hot.
All right. Favorite food?
Ooh, Mexican.
Mexican. Okay. There's a certain type of dish, or it's just Mexican?
Enchiladas.
Okay, all right.
See, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I'm not alone.
But guess what? Hold on. I know this is rapid fire. It's chicken thigh meat. That's all I gotta say.
Oh my goodness. Oh Lord.
How long have you been teaching?
Oh, I feel like all my life.
And the last but not the least question: teaching, making customs, or radio?
Woo! Oh man, that's a rapid fire question right there. Woo! I would have to say teaching. And I'm going to tell you why. I would say teaching because it was my teaching ability that opened up all the other doors.
Wow.
If radio goes away, if YouTube goes away, my teaching ability is still there. And I'll just use it on another platform.
Period.
Yo, that was a nice rapid fire. I appreciate you for answering those questions.
We got you 1 subscriber at least already.
Thank you, Peaches. Hi.
She's dope. Peaches, hi. She's here every week. She is a good supporter.
Wait, is that a play off of Watermelon High, that song?
You mentioned So Deep. I'm actually surprised she's not here. She's usually here.
I saw her do a live earlier, but I think she had connections problems. She was out and about.
So
I hope she's okay.
Soul Talk Saturdays. So
thank you.
You did drop a lot of gems on us. I just want to tell you that again. The trademark information was definitely needed, y'all. If y'all don't, you got to understand that. All 3 of us up here have been victims of that. Mine's I know actually got copyrighted. So now I'm going through something else to, I had to do some other things so the bear could still be mine, but it's a headache, it's a nightmare. That US PTO and those different levels she was talking about earlier in there, y'all need to go ahead and make sure if it's some art that you're going to be putting out to the public as far as clothes go. Like the Northwest Pacific line we got right here in the middle. Make sure it's trademarked, y'all. Please make sure it's trademarked.
And make sure you guys get your websites. Even if you don't want to build your websites, get your domain names locked in. Because that's something else that person took.
Where'd you go?
I had it. You can go anywhere. You can go to GoDaddy. Google has a place they do domains now, which is a lot cheaper than GoDaddy. I think Google's are like $12 a year, something like that. GoDaddy's prices raise every year, it seems. Goodness gracious. There's like so many Namecheap. There's all kind of places you can get your domains. Somebody was telling me the other day to get my actual name as a domain. I'm like, my name? They were like, yep, get your name. Because if you become, let's say you become famous, let's say Seek Paris becomes famous, Mike Tees become famous. If you own MikeTees.com, it's yours. But get your domain. That's why I bet you Oprah has her domain. Get your name.
Yeah.
Get your name. Get your business name. Even if it's something you're just thinking. You thinking of a name. If you think that's going to be your name, lock down the domain. You can always change your mind later, but at least you have that domain. And once you get the domain, if you know your business name, like 12 Gone Apparel and Mike Tees, if that's your official business name, that's what you're building upon, trademark it.
Yeah.
At least you got it locked down. Once it get approved for, I think it's 5 to 6 years, your trademark is good for, before you have to renew and pay that renewal fee.
Mm-hmm.
But at least it's yours. Because I've seen a lot of people just snatch names out the air and get hit with a cease and desist letter because they didn't do their due diligence. And their business they have been building for years, they had to change. They had to change the whole name, change the logo. They lost the logo. You don't want to go through that, man. We work too hard.
You have an LLC, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, so for a lot of folks, I don't know how it works in Kentucky. I'm in Ohio. Just because you have your LLC does not mean that your name is trademarked.
It is not
process.
Yes, it is.
I mentioned that in the squad. I seen some questions over that a while back. I meant to answer that, but that just it made me think about that as we were talking about it.
That just means you registered your business in that state. That's it. You just got rights in that state. That's it.
Yep.
But somebody else can take your same name in another state and have your same business name.
Yep.
The only way to stop that is that federal trademark. Because as soon as they do it, you can smack them. Back up. Or pay me.
Yeah. I want to shout out Coffee Power Home. Thank you for sharing the video.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. So, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I had these questions. I'll jot down questions, but usually I come off my head and I just got stumped. But so like, with your YouTube, and having started, what should people, these new people and us old people, what should we expect to see coming? Can we get that, sneak peek?
Little tidbit, little something.
Well, of course, you're going to see, me doing more designs, me doing mugs for sublimation, water slides, whatever direction I decide to go with mugs. You're going to see T-shirts, hoodies, socks, whatever apparel. You're going to see me doing different things such as coasters. I'll be doing panels, the aluminum panels. And as soon as you guys get your panels, up there, 8x10, I'll be, using those, because the downside of the aluminum panels, especially the last set I received, the corners were sharp. And I'm like, I'm not trying to have people get cut. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the issue. So I'm trying to get away from the aluminum and find something else more safe for my customers.
We got you.
So that's what I'm talking about. So you're going to see those, but someone also has asked me to bring back my motivations. They missed that. They said, we love Cinder Crafts and all of that, but I'm here for the motivation. And I had to think about it because that was the main focus of my channel when I first started. But I said, this time my business stands on 3 legs. And those 3 legs are life, business, and spirituality. Those are 3 things that I cover strongly. And when I came back, I said, well, let me focus more on the business things, because that was what I was seeing missing. I see a lot of people doing different customs, but I hardly see people talking about the business side of it. That's the educational part of it I think people are missing. And that's what I want to bring to the table. Not only just the custom stuff, but I need to tell you the business stuff that'll protect you as you grow. And that's kind of what you're going to see from the Educated Natural channel coming up.
Excuse me. So, speaking of the business side, you just dropped a guide, right?
Right.
Recently. Talk about that a little bit. Tell them what to expect, where they can find it.
The guide that I'm actually somebody I wanted to, my business partner, my business coach was telling me to add something else to it. So the guide, there's this international, Lord Jesus, the intentionality guide, because I put that out there, especially on my website. It's just 3 things in there, because I saw a lot of people building businesses wrongly. They weren't building businesses with a purpose. They were just throwing stuff out there to see what would stick. And they were losing money and they were wasting time. And I'm like, those are things sometimes you can't recoup. You definitely can't recoup time. So I really wanted to focus on the reason behind the business. Why do you want to start a business in the first place? So that's what that guide is about. You have to think about your why, and not just your why, the deeper meaning of the why, because that's what it's going to take as you build. On those days when you say, man, I want to quit, I want to give up, I want to stop. Somebody says something to you and now you don't want to do it anymore. You want to just give up on your dreams and goals. You're going to have to know your why. You're going to have to know the reason why you do what you do. Because when those naysayers come up, and they will, trust me, and they try to destroy your dreams, destroy your goals, you're going to look back on those things and say, this is why I do what I do.
Right.
Period.
Wow.
So that's what the intent, oh my God, I can't even say my own word. That's what the intentionality goal worksheet is for. Also, in my planner that I recently released, the Sown on Purpose planner is designed to help you look at those things in your business a lot of people don't want to look at, mainly your finances. Mm-hmm. I have like I said, my husband is in the finances. He's my accountant. But I also have a personal friend that's also a business tax person. Mm-hmm. And she was the one that was my coach at one point, and then she went and got her tax certification, and now she does home-based business taxes. You talk about somebody that knows their stuff. And when I started building this journal, I said, you know what? I can do the mission statement, the vision statement. I can do all the foundational principles of a business. But when it came to those finances, and my husband would say, all right, it's time to do our taxes. Bring me your stuff. My heart will be like, oh God, the numbers, the money, and I would have to look at those numbers and track those numbers every year. A lot of people don't want to do that. We just want to buy, but we don't want to look at the budget. We don't want to see what our assets are. We definitely don't want to see what our expenses were.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But this journal has an area in there for us all to be realistic and track our spending and our income. Mm-hmm. So that's in that journal. All the other stuff that you usually see in a journal. I have a content calendar. That content calendar is what's helping me come back on YouTube, because I had every excuse in the book as to why I didn't have time to do a video. Wow. But once I started writing things out and putting myself on a schedule, and I stuck to that schedule, everything began to flow, and it made things make sense, and it made things a lot easier. So that's in that journal. So those are the things that I have, released, because it's that business part that hurts a lot of people. We can create all day long. We can, do t-shirts and hoodies and stuff like that all day long. But to sit down and look at the realistic view of your business, that's when you know you in business. That's when you know you're on the right road and you're not a business person. Business people got the gift of gab.
Yeah.
They talk a lot.
Business.
Yeah.
They
business.
Yeah.
B-I-D.
They paint you this gorgeous picture. I'm a CEO. I can do this and I can do that. And they do all this talking. But when you look, you say, let me see your paperwork. They're like, my what? Or have you done this? And you start asking them hard questions. They're like, no, I don't have to do that. Yes, you do. That means you're a business person. Business people know if I want to succeed, I have to leave evidence. I can't just talk it. My evidence has to be out there. Yeah, you got to have the paper trail because people going to sit there and say, because when I first entered into radio, I was depending on other people that was over the station to have their ducks in a row because they had painted this beautiful picture. And I took them on their word. But when I had people coming in to do interviews with me and they would ask me questions like, what's your demographics? And I would go, let me ask the station. So when I would ask the station and they would be able to tap dance and they didn't have an answer. And I'm like, but you're the owner of the station. You're not tracking your demographics. So it made me look bad as the host. So then I knew these are business people.
Yeah.
How you call yourself a CEO and you don't know the ins and outs of your own business?
Right.
What's your link to your to this? Is it like where can we go and get the guides and
my website, www.sownonpurpose.com. That's my website. And I'm going to be updating the guide this week. I think that's the purple one that's on the main screen. Don't get that yet. It's going to be updated. So we're updating that this week because I'm just, like I said, y'all have woken up my creativity, man. I see what's missing.
So
and I want to make sure you got that.
I'm gonna go to these comments. We got some good questions for you.
Yes.
Good comments. So Nairo Martinez says, you can see, girl, I'm sitting because I almost fell back. Where's the link? Coffee Power Home said, I hate the numbers. You and me both. Y'all should have seen when I went to taxes, Lord. That Junie said, I just got mine. Nairo Martinez says, yes, creating a YouTube schedule has been difficult. Definitely. We lost Mike Tees. A customs journey. Can you talk more about the benefits of a business coach and how to find one? Great question.
Oh, great question. Yes, the benefit when I had my business coach, and I say had because she said I exceeded her. So she said, I've done all I can do for you. And so she had to release me, even though I did not want to release her. But the benefits of having a business coach is they keep you honest. You see, we can get in our own heads and think, oh, yeah, I got this together and I have that together and I'm doing this. And everything can look good in your own head. But somebody on the outside looking at you, they're saying, nah, you're slipping here, sis. Or you need to get this together, sis. And they're honest with you. When you find a really good coach, they don't care about your feelings. My coach has had me upset with her to where there were times I'm like, I'm not talking to you no more. You're just too tough. You're asking too much. And I realized that's her job. That's why I had her as my coach. If she was going to sit there and be a yes person to me, how is that benefiting me? That's hurting me in the long run. So she wasn't sparing my feelings. And so it helped me come outside of my limited thinking. I would say my stinking thinking. And it helped me grow. I no longer had that poverty mindset. You know, she helped me grow. She helped me see my full potential. And she helped me in a way that without her, I probably wouldn't have thought of half of the things that I think about constantly now to help me grow and to be able to help other people grow. That's what she does. To find one, now that could be a challenge because there are a lot of people out here with coach attached to themselves. And they are frauds. I think about the last couple of years, it was like, here's a life coach. There's a life coach. Here's this kind of coach and that kind of coach. And I was like, no, you're not even qualified to do that.
Yeah.
So you have to do your due diligence. I've always been told success leaves clues. Whoever you think matches well with you, take your time and watch them. Take your time and monitor them. Don't be afraid to find out who they're working with and ask for some referrals. Talk to some other people and see honestly how people feel about them and see what they're doing.
Sorry, guys.
And then you'll be able to find the right one that matches you. Don't go for the one that everybody else is going after.
Right.
Because that may not be the person for you. You have to find the person that matches your personality and that's going to truly push you. You don't want a yes, ma'am, or a no, sir, or yes, sir. You don't want that type of person. You don't want somebody that's always going to agree with you, because that's not helping you.
Right.
So I always tell people, find someone that you can model after, that you say, you know what? They're doing really great in this area, and that's the direction I want to go. Have a conversation with them. Get to know them. Don't even tell them you're looking for a coach, because people have a tendency to act kind of funny when they think they're about to get some money out of you.
Mm-hmm.
Just befriend them, follow them for a while on social media, listen to what they say, see if it makes sense, look at their evidence, see if it leaves any kind of clues, if it makes sense. And if it works well, then you can take it to that next step.
Period.
But don't be afraid to just do your due diligence. Don't take anything at face value. You know, I think I've always heard taste and see. You know, the Bible says taste and see that the Lord is good. Taste and see.
Yeah.
Because some people
it cut off.
I know.
But yeah, I see everybody
custom
with my
designs.
stuff cut off.
Oh, isn't that James?
Can you hear me? Because I can't hear y'all.
I hear you. You can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm still out.
Oh,
I don't know what's going on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear both of you.
Okay. So it said his audio cut off. I don't know why. But we got another. We can hear you. Twice.
Okay. You hear us now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay.
I had to log on my phone, and then I got off my phone to get back on my internet. I have no idea. I apologize.
Oh, no, you good. Trust me, live streaming, I've done this enough times. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen on live stream.
Yeah. So the best uni asks, do you have to have an LLC?
Well, let me say it like this. An LLC gives you a level of protection. Serious business people register their business. And the reason why you want to register your business, if you're selling anything, I don't care if it's an ink pen, if you're selling anything, you have to understand the type of society that we live in. People are not only stealing from you, but people love to sue.
Yeah.
Without an LLC, if somebody buys something from you and something happens, they can buy a chair from you, Uni, and let's say the chair falls apart, they fall down and get hurt, and they want to sue you because you made the chair.
Right.
They can claim all of your assets if you do not have an LLC. All of your assets will go before the court. If you have an LLC, the only thing they can sue is that LLC. They can't touch your personal finances.
And
so it gives you that protection.
And that's the difference between an LLC and a sole proprietorship. I saw that question asked, so I just wanted to point that out.
Right. But it gives you a level of protection in case, God forbid, but in case you have to go to court. That's why I tell people, not only do you have to get the LLC when you're serious, but you also want to get a bank account for that LLC, not your personal account, a bank account. Because if you have to go to litigation over something, they're only going to look at that business account and your LLC. Everything is separate from your personal. If you don't have that protection, everything you own, that judge will take into account.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you don't want to see nobody driving down the road in your Beamer. No, I'm just playing.
Right.
That's a true story, too. Wow.
Right.
Man, we appreciate everybody tapping in tonight with us, picking up these gems.
Absolutely. I'm here to help.
Since we brought you on from the time you started, nothing but gems. Every time we do this, I learn something new. But tonight,
me too.
It seemed like I got me a book tonight. You know, I write down a lot of stuff. I don't write it down in sentence form. I'm all over with it. But I got this page full.
Wow.
I appreciate what you have
God
bestowed
be the glory.
on us.
Yeah. Yes. That's funny. I feel you though.
A whole name change.
Yeah, we up out of here.
She like, you can have it. I'm out.
Right. And I want to thank you again. Though this was great. I'm really glad that you came on here with us. It's an honor.
I'm happy to be here.
Like,
I'm honored.
You came and dropped gems, and you done made me. I done cried a little bit in the car and everything.
You cry a little bit in the car.
You know.
We definitely are most going to reach back out to you. Most
Absolutely.
definitely reach back out to you in the future, because the structure of the business is, that's a lot of, I try to get some of those questions answered in these, but I want to get more in depth, because a lot of folks don't know what it really takes to run a business. You can say you are a business, but there's a whole backside of it that makes sure that you're a business. And, you know,
right. And you're protected.
On the door, it's, you either got your receipts or you don't got them. What I mean is your books. If you don't got them books, man.
Yeah.
You may or may not go to jail that night, but you definitely will be paying into that debt is paid off.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever number they decide to throw at you. That's why,
right.
you know, receipts in the bank keeping, the deposits, the bank account that you spoke on, the trademark, and all of that is part of structuring a business. And yeah, we just got to pick your brain a little bit more.
Absolutely, absolutely. I tell people, either you gonna pay now, get all your stuff together, or you gonna pay even more later. Which one you want?
Period.
They both gonna hurt. You know, I tell you, some things will hit you in your chest, and some things will kick you in your butt. They both gonna hurt. Which one you want?
Yep, that part. Hashtag that part. There's not enough of that topic. I appreciate you. That's coffee powered.
Oh, I appreciate you too. Thank you for being here.
Period. But before we get off of here, don't forget to post your link to your YouTube and stuff in the squad.
Please.
I will do.
Please.
What's next for y'all?
So, you know, I'm going to try to convert him over to eating chicken thighs, you know. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I got a picture I'm going to send him. I'm going to help him out. You know, he like that dry chicken. What'd you say?
He said he gonna convert me to eating chicken thighs. You got
I'm telling you, next video I'm gonna have a whole bag just for Seek and be like, this video is sponsored by chicken thighs.
She being nice. Nobody eat chicken thighs. Young people eat chicken thighs.
Hey, he finished it too by saying black
might eat chicken thighs. I wish I would. Now I'm gonna tell you.
At least he didn't say chicken feet or chicken butts. Now
I told him about that. I told him about the chicken feet.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that. You on your own with that one.
I'm gonna tell you guys a story, a humbling story about some chicken thighs. So y'all know the banquet chicken in the box,
right?
Me and my wife go and buy a box of that, cook it, and we eat all the chicken except for the thighs. Took the box, threw it in a dumpster behind where I lived. And then so we leave that day and come back. There's a lady sitting on the ground eating these chicken thighs that we threw away. And thought, you know, as it's nasty, we ain't about to eat it. And pull into the driveway, into the parking lot, and see this lady literally sitting there eating the chicken thighs I just threw away that morning. Like it was a humbling situation.
Yeah.
You know, and I told myself I might start eating chicken thighs. That didn't work, but we did help the lady out, you know, gave her some money, gave her some food and different stuff. But that was like a crazy situation. What we thought was nothing meant something to someone. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
I'll never forget that. I almost cried in the car that day too.
Wow.
You know?
Serious. So we got your website. I clocked out last time when you was telling me.
Well, thank you, Mary.
We got your YouTube channel. What's your website one more time? Because I was writing it down on my camera.
Sure. www.sownonpurpose.com.
Purpose. Y'all check in, tap in, go like, go run them numbers up. What other media platforms are you on?
Just about all of them. Facebook. My Facebook page is Sewn on Purpose. Okay. If you find me on Twitter, just look for the EDU because I don't have enough space for the Educated Natural, but it's the EDU Natural. And on Instagram, it's the Educated Natural. Those are the main places. I have Pinterest and all that stuff, but I'm never on there. So, but those are my main areas. Of course, YouTube, the Educated Natural. Mm-hmm. So I try to keep, my business coach always told me, try to keep your names as congruent as you can across the board. And it makes it easy for people to find you. That's got to look for one name.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
y'all go check her out, man. Y'all go subscribe, like, comment, do all that. Help her get them YouTube numbers up, watch hours up.
Yes.
Thank
you got here's so a bunch of video on her channel. Y'all go press play.
Yes. Yes. And yes.
Yes. And I probably be doing motivational messages tied in with business, but definitely I think I'm gonna leave Mondays for those motivational messages because it's a good way to start your week off. You need something to get you through the week sometimes. So why not do it at the top of the week? My best friend was like, "What you doing on Sundays?" I'm like, I think everybody probably gets enough preaching on Sundays. So
right.
do it Monday morning, that grind.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter keeps telling me because I'm teaching her about money in school and homeschool. I'm a homeschool mom. And usually on Mondays in homeschool, we have Money Mondays where we teach her about money because money is my husband's area. Finances, that's him all day. Investments and all of that stuff. So we usually have Money Mondays on that. And that's something else I think I would encourage people to do. Study about finances. Study about investments, because that's something I know growing up, nobody ever talked about. Study about credit.
Well, see, that is not taught, especially in low income communities. That's not something you can find readily. We look up to the drug dealers that buy all the gold and the cars and the jewelry. All that stuff, and that's our financial advisors. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I know I wish somebody would have taught me a money class as a child.
Or how important credit was.
Exactly.
That credit, man.
Yeah, credit.
You got a perfect credit score, rich.
You're right. Basically. That credit thing, man. When I was young, when I first joined the Army, I didn't know anything about credit. And a CD player cost me about 5 times the price I should have just paid for it because I got it on credit and no idea about you had to pay the money back in a
Right.
With interest.
Yes.
Sheesh.
Yes, man. That was a learning experience there, let me tell you.
Yeah, they got me with the cell phones. They had right after the beeper, like the next day after the beepers went out.
Beepers and chicken thighs, huh?
They got me.
They just not letting that go.
It's gonna haunt me in my dreams. But it's okay. He knows deep down inside he want to eat a chicken thigh.
I think he does too.
Quit hiding, man. Just go and experience something new.
I think for his birthday, we should just send him a whole box of chicken thighs and Popeyes or something.
Oh, no.
And 2 cases of special sauce.
I ain't telling nobody my birthday. For that matter. He said 2K. Nobody want no red hot salsa chili red hot.
Hey, be careful, man. You're talking too much. We on live, all right? Was that Walkman worth it?
Look. It wasn't a Walkman. It was like, back in the day, they had the stereo. Then it had another level where you had the CD player. Then they had the 2 disc players, the 2 cassette players on the front.
Yeah.
Man, you could tell me nothing when I got that until them bills start rolling in. I was like, wait, I got to pay money? And I'm active duty Army, so I had the money. But I was like, I don't want to pay them, so I didn't pay them.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
that thing came back and humped me too.
Yeah, mama, here come that man, mama. Yeah, I think we've all been there.
Wow.
Man. Yeah, man. Y'all have to do your due diligence, man. You have to. Trust me. I have hit my head enough times. I have lost money, not knowing what I was doing, taking people at their word. It got, as we say in the project.
Period.
Who that? That's Ant. My phone died on me. That's why everything just went blank.
Nah, that's Mike. That's my. This is So that's my partner, man. That's my brother, and he's saying that because I used to eat these tacos literally every day, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then you take a tortilla and you deep fry this tortilla. So when you're eating a taco, all this grease is falling out the taco. But so like this is like I'm young, we young, in the 20s and stuff. I would literally eat this every day. Like my my kid's mom, stepdad, he'd be like, boy, you don't turn into Mexican all them tacos you eat every day. And so he talking about my tacos, but he was right there with me. Like when you making them, he was just at my house a month ago, making some of them tacos. Man. So that's what that's about right there.
That's how you gonna be with Mike with them chicken thighs. You're like, man, just pass me with them chicken thighs.
No. That chicken thigh better be fried to oblivion where I can just eat.
But see, it's not just look. I got to before I even get off here. I got to clarify some things real quick on this chicken thigh, y'all. All right, it's grilled, it's fried, and then it's baked. So it's 3 processes, right? Mm-hmm. So when you put that little special sauce on there, it's just so magical.
Bro, ain't nobody eating none of that.
Well, you try on breaking it down, and it never loses the juiciness.
You eat potted meat.
Dry.
You eat chicken thighs. You eat potted meat. You eat black licorice. I don't even know. Bro, like, listen.
Mess with the licorice.
Yeah, that's that grandpa stuff. He a grandpa.
Grandpa.
Listen. I mean, I know you got a can of Vienna sausages in your cabinet right now. Saltines.
Wait, Mike, where you from? Why is he coming at you like that? Where you from?
But that's not where he's from.
Down south. All my family's from down south.
But it ain't where he's from. He's just an old man. He's just an old man at heart.
In Ohio. Where they're from?
Yeah.
Half South Carolina, the other half Atlanta, and a little bit in Alabama.
Okay. See, I'm originally from North Carolina. That's why we said Vienna sausages. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. No, you got all that in the cabinet right now.
I do. I'm not ashamed of it. I love it. Look, all them folks that listen, they survived to be 100 years old. All right, they was doing something right. They was eating something right. I don't know what it was, but my grandma and them got me hooked to it. So my grandma, she 99 this year. She gonna be 100.
Oh, wow, amazing!
Yeah,
the same chicken thighs. See, the same chicken thighs. You know what I'm saying,
bro?
Yeah, shoot,
bro. You see what this say right here? You read this comment on the screen. LMAO, this chicken thigh thing got y'all going. Hey,
hilarious.
Listen, man. You can blame it on your grandma and them and stuff,
Yeah, but they be moving around too. My grandma and them is not stagnant. They up moving, shopping. My grandfather was driving.
Brother.
Wow, that's good.
Brother.
Yeah.
I respect 100 years old. That's an amazing thing. But bro, them chicken thighs, we ain't going for that, bro. We ain't going for that, bro. That's not happening, bro. Like, I don't care what type of sauce you put on it. He said grilled, baked, or fried.
No, all 3 of them, bro. Not just
I know, that's what I'm saying. We cool. And he be serious, though. I call him and stuff and like, what's going on? Man, he's just eating his chicken thigh. Whole thing, like the chicken thigh be like this big all in the camera. We cool. Get the juice running down your lip, man.
You're right. The chicken thigh merch. I'm telling y'all.
I'm gonna get it. Watch my face with some chicken. Y'all gonna see the big. Chicken right here.
See,
yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna hold it back and be like this. See.
this chicken thighs, man. This is a lifetime thing.
It was, but the gems that we got from this live, y'all. I mean,
period.
2 hours. We've been on for 2 hours. It don't even
wow.
seem like 2 hours.
No, not at all.
Damn, it has, man.
It felt natural because we chopping it up with the Educated Natural. Make sure y'all go like, comment, hit all the platforms up, the website, support.
Thank y'all so much, man. This means a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for coming, dropping these gems. Yeah, like I say, I'm gonna cry in the car. I ain't gonna cry. I might think about it afterwards, but
ain't nothing wrong with it.
Like you really dropped some stuff that hit home, hit the soul. You know what I mean? Appreciate that. Yeah. And we definitely would love to have you back on here.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You know, sometime, and salute.
Absolutely. Thank y'all so much. Thank you so much.
I gotta post this comment at 12 on apparel Christmas chicken thighs. The Master P.
Merch coming soon, I promise. I'm gonna have Seek rap about it. So y'all be ready for the new album, Chicken Thighs. Coming soon.
Yeah, we ain't doing none of that.
Shut it down. We didn't even get to get off air. You shut it down. Hey, y'all tap in. Y'all like tap in every week.
Yeah, what's your favorite part of chicken? Tell us that in the group.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the chicken, I'm a wings and drumsticks.
All the dry pieces. Y'all look, go ahead and drop a comment.
Wow.
On what
he just gonna diss my chicken. He just gonna diss my chicken. I give you that the thigh meat be moist, but then it be chewy.
Like a toothpick.
That chicken be chewy though. It be stretching like
taffy. 30 seconds after one of them little chicken.
How you bite a piece of meat and it stretch like taffy?
No,
them chicken thighs be chewy as hell.
I don't know what you want. That's definitely not chicken. Somebody's stretching.
It's like jerk chicken. I'm cool. We cool.
This is about as bad as the cricket and the cameo argument.
Right?
Oh, man.
Yes, we're going to post in the squad what part of the chicken you eat. We really want to know.
What part of chicken is your favorite?
What came first, the chicken or the chicken? The thighs or the wings? Nah, but seriously, before we go, thank you again.
Yes.
Thank you. Before we close, do you have anything you want to say before we close?
Well, like I always tell people, if you don't take anything away from anything I say, take this away. Know that you were fearfully and wonderfully made by God.
Period.
And at any point in life, if someone comes up to you and tries to kill your dream, always ask yourself, who am I and whose am I? When you identify the answers to those two questions, nobody, not mama, daddy, anybody, should be able to deter you from your dreams and God-given goals. Never let another person take your power and authority. God gave that to you. It belongs to you. Walk in it, claim it, and wherever you go, let people know, I know who I am and I know who I belong to. You'll be set for life. God bless.
Real talk in a real way.
So, Coffee Powered Home Mask, could y'all mention y'all channels one more time? My channel is 12 Gun Apparel.
Tease.
The Educated Natural.
We all on you.
Apparel, Mike T's, Educated Natural. Thank you again. Appreciate you. We're going to get up out of here because y'all talking about chicken thighs. I need a chicken leg right now. So
the dry piece. You want the dry piece.
This guy here, man. Listen.
Good
night. Thank you. Y'all have a good
one.
We'll see y'all next week.